Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to send our condolences to several families today. And we're going to start off with actor Yaphet Kotto, who it was announced yesterday had passed away at the age of 81, and the news is coming from his agent Ryan Goldar. And so Kotto died on March 14th at 10:30 p.m. local time in the Philippines, where he lived with his wife, according to Goldar, and information on the cause of death was not provided. Kotto's on-screen body of work began in the late 60s and remained steady through the 90s. In that time, he amassed an array of memorable roles that spoke to the transformative talent that he had. His notable work includes roles in Alien, The Running Man, Midnight Run, and Live and Let Die, in which he played iconic Bond villain Mr. Big, and that was one of my favorite roles seeing him in. And I really appreciated his talent because he always played such a powerful character no matter what the role was. In television, his longest running role was as Lieutenant Al Giardello on NBC's Homicide: Life on the Street. Kotto, my mom's favorite, director Ava DuVernay, wrote on Twitter, "He's one of those actors who deserve more than the parts he got, but he took those parts and made them wonderful all the same. A star. Rest well, sir." Television producer David Simon added, "Memories and respect for Yaphet Kotto, whose film career was legend even before he came to Baltimore to grace our television drama. But for me, he'll always be Al Giardello, the unlikeliest Sicilian, gently pulling down the office blinds to glare at detectives in his squad room." Kotto was born in New York City. His mother was Gladys Marie, an American nurse and U.S. Army officer of Panamanian and West Indian descent. His father was Avraham Kotto, according to his son, originally named Njoki Manga Bale, a businessman from Cameroon who immigrated to the United States in the 1920s. The couple separated when Kotto was a child, and he was raised by his maternal grandparents. His father was raised Jewish and his mother converted to Judaism. He was Cameroonian royalty, as his father was the crown prince of the royal Bell family of Cameroon. By the age of 16, Kotto was studying acting at the Actors Mobile Theater Studio, and at 19, he made his professional acting debut in Othello. He was a member of the Actors Studio in New York. Kotto got his start in acting on Broadway, where he appeared in The Great White Hope, among other productions. His film debut was in 1963 at age 23 in an uncredited role in for Texas. He performed in Michael Roman's Nothing But a Man in 1964 and played a supporting role in the caper film The Thomas Crown Affair in 1968. And he played John Austin, a confused Marine Lance Corporal, in the 1968 episode King of the Hill on the first season of Hawaii Five-0. And so his personal life, Kotto's first marriage was to German immigrant Rita Ingrid Dittman, whom he married in 1959, and they had 3 children together before divorcing in 1976. And later he married Antoinette Pettyjohn, who is an actress, and they also had 3 children together. And the 2 of them divorced in 1989, and Antoinette Pettyjohn actually starred in the Star Wars television show, and she passed away in 1992, I believe, from cancer. And so his third wife and current wife at the time of his passing, her name is Tessie Shinahan, and she is from the Philippines, and they got married in 1998. Kotto was versed in the Hebrew liturgy and incorporated Jewish prayers at turning points throughout his life. He said his father instilled Judaism in him. In 2000, he was living in Mamuro, Ontario, Canada. He died on March 14, 2021, near Manila, Philippines. His wife, who announced the news on Facebook, did not reveal the cause of death. So rest in peace, Yaphet Kotto. Next, we move on to marvelous Marvin Hagler, who was a very popular boxer. And so he stopped Thomas Hearns in a fight that lasted less than 8 minutes, yet was so epic that it still lives in boxing lore. 2 years later, he was so disgusted after losing a decision to Sugar Ray Leonard, stolen, he claimed, by the judges, that he never fought again. And so those were two of the biggest highlights in Hagler's career. One of the great middleweights in boxing history. Hagler died Saturday at the age of 66. His wife Kay announced his death on Facebook page for Hagler's fans, and she was quoted as saying, "I am sorry to make a very sad announcement. Today, unfortunately, my beloved husband, Marvelous Marvin, passed away unexpected at his home here in New Hampshire. Our family requests that you respect our privacy during this difficult time." Hagler fought on boxing's biggest stages against its biggest names, as he, Leonard Hearns, and Roberto Duran dominated the middleweight class during a golden time for boxing in the 1980s. Quiet with a brooding public persona, Hagler fought 67 times over 14 years as a pro out of Brockton, Massachusetts, finishing 62-3-2 with 52 knockouts. "If they cut my bald head open, they will find one big boxing glove," Hagler once said. "That's all I am. I live it." Hagler was unmistakable in the ring, fighting out of southpaw stance with his bald head glistening in the lights. He was relentless and he was vicious, stopping opponent after opponent during an 8-year run that began with a disputed draw against Vito Antuofermo in 1979 that he later avenged. He fought with a proverbial chip on his shoulder, convinced that boxing fans and promoters alike didn't give him his proper due. He was so upset that he wasn't introduced before a 1982 fight by his nickname of Marvelous that he went to court to legally change his name. He was certainly one of the greatest middleweights ever, but one of the greatest people that I've ever been around and promoted. Promoter Bob Earns said he was a real man, loyal, and just a fantastic person. Any doubts Hagler wasn't indeed marvelous was erased on a spring night in 1985. He and Hearns met in one of the era's big middleweight clashes outdoors at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and when the opening bell raged, they traded punches for 3 minutes in an opening round many consider the best in boxing history. Hagler would go on to stop Hearns in the third round, crumpling him to the canvas with a barrage of punches, even as blood poured out of the large gash on his forehead that nearly caused the referee to stop the fight earlier in the round. When they stopped the fight to look at the cut, I realized they might be playing games and I wasn't going to let them take the title away. It was a scary feeling, I thought. Why are you stopping the fight? I didn't realize I was bleeding. It wasn't in my eyes. Then I knew I had to destroy this guy. And that was a quote from Hagler after that fight. Aram said Hagler simply willed himself to victory over Hearns, whose big right hand was feared in the division but couldn't keep Hagler at bay. Hagler would fight only 2 more times, stopping John Mugabe a year later and then meeting Leonard, who was coming off a 3-year layoff from a detached retina, in his final fight in 1987. Hagler was favored going into the fight, and many thought he would destroy Leonard, but Leonard had other plans. Hagler, who was paid $19 million, left the ring in disgust and never fought again. He moved to Italy to act and never really looked back. I feel fortunate to get out of the ring with my faculties and my health, he said a year later. Hagler took the long route to greatness, fighting mostly in the Boston area before finally getting his chance at the 160-pound title in 1979 against Antuofermo. as a co-main event with Leonard fighting Wilfred Benitez on the same card. Hagler bloodied Antuofermo and seemed to win the fight, but when the scorecards were tallied, he was denied the belt with a draw. Hagler would travel to London the next year to stop Alan Minter to win the title, and he held it for the next 7 years before his disputed loss to Leonard. In regards to Marvin Hagler's passing, there was a bit of controversy over how he passed away. His wife would not say what the cause of death was, only that he passed suddenly. But there were rumors that his death was caused by the COVID-19 vaccine, which his wife came out and vehemently denied. I'm not sure if he had recently had the vaccine and that's how the rumor started, or if people were just saying it. But his wife has indicated that that was not the cause of death and came out to denounce the people that were saying that it was the cause of death, and reiterating that that was not how he passed away, that she was with him when he passed, and that those rumors are simply not true. He was quoted as saying, "For sure, wasn't the vaccine that caused his death. My baby left in peace with his usual smile, and now is not the time to talk nonsense." End of quote. Hagler had 5 children with his wife Bertha, Sherelle, Celeste, James, Marvin Jr., and Gentry. I know at least one of his sons, Marvin Hagler Jr., had a fight against Sugar Ray Leonard's son. Although he owned a home in Bartlett, New Hampshire, Hagler lived in Milan. In May 2000, he married his second wife, Kay, an Italian, in Politello, Italy, and on March 13, 2021, Hagler's wife, Kay, announced that Hagler had died unexpectedly at his home in New Hampshire. He was 68 years old. And so rest in peace to marvelous Marvin Hagler. Our final condolences goes out to KeyShawn Johnson and his family. KeyShawn Johnson is a former NFL player, and he broke the news on social media that his daughter Maia had passed away at the age of 25. And in his release, he stated, "It is with incredible sadness that I have to share the news about the passing of my beautiful daughter Maia. Maia, as my firstborn child, has been the joy of my life and her mother Shakira's life. She came into our lives just as we were both coming of age as adults, and has been a constant beloved presence for both of us. We are heartbroken and devastated by her loss. Shakira, Maia's siblings, our family, and me appreciate your thoughts and prayers at this difficult time. We also all appreciate your support and respect for our privacy as we move forward. Thank you all. God bless. KeyShawn Johnson Sr." And KeyShawn Johnson Jr. took to his social media and he made a post and it said, "Yesterday, I lost the one person in my life that is full blood. I lost my big sister Maia. Maia was undoubtedly my biggest role model growing up. I wanted to be nothing but a clone of her. I always thought she was the coolest person, had the coolest clothes, listened to the best music. I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I just wish we were as close as we used to be. I'm sorry for that, and I love you so much. I will see you soon." Maia's mom also had a post that she put out. The post was several years ago, but it was very touching and very telling. Maia may not have been as close to the family as an adult as she was growing up, and I believe she played basketball in college, and she may have graduated maybe 2 years ago, but I know there was a sport that she participated in, and basketball is like fresh in my mind. The letter that the mom posted on Instagram that was from a few years ago, it stated, 22 years ago, your dad and I proudly brought you into this world. I was 19, a sophomore at USC. Your dad was 22, like you are today. We were so young, wanting nothing more than to be your parents. 4 months later, your dad became the #1 draft pick. Our lives were forever changed. We went from inconspicuously driving you around campus in a beat-up used Honda to life in a fishbowl, all eyes on us, without us truly understanding what that meant. Our once private dysfunction was suddenly on blast, all of it playing out as folks' entertainment. My fearless, beautiful, intelligent, well-traveled, resourceful daughter, my mini-me. Throughout our journey, we literally have been growing up, figuring life out together. Have we made mistakes? Absolutely, but I believe God always allows us to make mistakes for us to learn, to understand how to win. And my precious child, with you plus God, that's all you'll continue to do, win, even when it feels like you're losing. For every pain, remember, is strengthening you, making you better, stronger. Continue to follow your light. You are destined for greatness. Happy 22nd birthday, Maia. I love you. Mom, hashtag my firstborn, hashtag happy birthday, hashtag grateful, hashtag blessed. So Maia Hightower Johnson has passed away unexpected at the age of 25, leaving her parents and several siblings to mourn her passing. And so we just want to send out our condolences to their family. KeyShawn Johnson, as I stated, he's a former NFL player. He was the #1 overall pick in the 1996 NFL draft out of the University of Southern California. He played with 4 teams over 11 seasons in the league and won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He currently works as a commentator for ESPN and hosts KeyShawn, Jahmil, and Zubin with Jay Williams and Zubin Mahati on ESPN Radio. And so our thoughts and prayers are with KeyShawn and his family as they deal with this unthinkable tragedy. He has the full support of his ESPN family, and that was a statement that was released by ESPN. So guys, that's it for me. Just wanted to bring these 3 passings to you. And if you follow my channel, at the end of the year, I do like a big collage of all the notable people that have passed away during the year. And it's just basically a combination of all these individual videos that I do. So that's it for me. Go ahead, leave your comments, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.